I think it was Howard Berger said that people who feel like they need to make monsters or they will die, that there's nobody like that anymore, and there is, and I am it. Now I'm going to make the cut off legs of my costume. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna look like amputated legs.
What was it? Was that blood?
In the haunt industry, because I'm different, like, it's kind of like a superpower.
Hey everybody, Tiffany here, aka T-Rex Talent. T-Rex Talent is haunt actor, special effects makeup artist, prop builder. So check it out. Let me know what kind of stuff you guys would like to see. Safety glasses. These are actually kids' safety glasses because I have a small head. This is going to be the support for my Frankenstein head over there, so that I'm going to drill a hole into his body, which is right there, and then he already has a hole in the head. My favorite tool ever, because my hands can't cut things like other people's hands can, so I just bring everything to this saw. Now we're gonna work on some eyeballs. Let's do this. This part always takes a minute. Nailed it. And just give it some little veins. And then you take your splatter brush, aka the toothbrush you saved from your last hospital visit. And if the splatter doesn't get on your face, then you're not doing it right. This is what I use to keep that wet look. Ah! So I draw a lot, and then I started to get more into doing special effects makeup. Now I'm into props as well, and now I'm more professionally into haunting in general, being a haunt actor. I make all my own costumes. I can make characters for other people. And I actually designed this one, and my buddy William Butcher, he did this, and I actually worked at his haunt one time, and it's from my love of haunted houses. So we got the little drama faces, but we got him as a clown and kind of a zombie in the haunted house. We got that one, and then this one isn't scary, but it says Earth without art is just eh. And I do want to get some monster tats for sure. Oh, I have a T-Rex one too. I wanted to get a fierce one because I needed something like kick butt about myself. So I grew up getting lost in these fantasy worlds. Those were almost an empowerment to me. The X-Men and Wolverine, because my disease is technically a mutation. They seem to go through similar struggles with the whole being different and struggling to see it as a good thing. And Wolverine actually has metal in his bones, and I also have metal in my bones because I've had 19 surgeries to put rods in my arms and legs. It would be a great power to have healing powers when I have brittle bones. If I just broke my bones, I could just heal right up and I'd be fine. And then I tried to ask my doctor if he could give me claws on one of my surgeries, and he said no. So when I was a kid, I would get hurt and things, and I couldn't go outside and play, so I would get lost in these movies I watched. knowing that there's other kids out there who probably do the same keeps me going, that I could make these monsters or these creatures or these aliens. I could make a world like that for another kid to get lost in, so that they don't feel as alone. They could find a creature to relate to. They could find something to cheer them up when they feel like there's nothing really left for them. Even when I'm haunting, that is the ultimate drive for me. Even as a scary monster, I can be somebody's hero. I can be that weird kid's hero. That's the ultimate push to keep going. Even when I'm tired or in pain or hit a creative block, that's the ultimate inspiration. Frankenstein. This is why you don't go nowhere. This is why we can't have nice things, Frankenstein. Go over there with your head. Keep yourself together. Well, my dad initially got me into horror. My mom's been a huge support. She goes to every haunt with me. When I joined the circus, she went with me and lived in the circus with me.
They wanted to put her in a special school. No, she's going to a regular school. Oh, she can't walk across the stage because it's not wheelchair accessible. Oh, you're going to make it a wheelchair accessible. She's going to do what the other kids do. And I fought tooth and nail for everything. And then she wanted to do the haunted house. And I'm not much of a horror fan, or I used to not be a horror fan. I'm a haunt mom now, but so I supported her with that. I think she was about 14 when she started with the haunted house, and that was the best haunt family ever. They even made a cage, especially for her, so that she could be right up front. This is her, and they immediately put her on morphine because she was in so much pain. Hospice met me at my door when she was first born. She stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, and they said she wasn't going to live, and they offered to put her in an assisted living home for children. And I said, no, y'all aren't doing anything I can't do for my child. She's not going to die. I'm taking her home. And that's the first time I got to hold her.
Bring her home on the pillow, because a sneeze she could break. A yawn she could break. She had Osteogenesis Imperfecta, now number 3 of that Brittle Bone Disease, and she had the worst stage. We all didn't know what was happening at the time because she was all broke up. I would say that what the doctor estimated is close to 200 some breaks when she was born, all over her body because of this disease. And they weren't looking for her to live and that's my heart. Got past 6 months, then it was a year. Then it was another year.
Now here we are, 27 years later.
With Tiffany.
And she's still here.
Tiffany.
Doing just fine.
Doing just fine.
And it really just speaks to her fighting spirit. It's a hell of a disease. The simplest thing could break her bones. It doesn't take a lot of force. She has her bad days like anybody else, but for the most part, she definitely does not let it keep her down. She does not let it stop her from doing what she wants to do. Even in the worst times in life, there's always something to hold on to. There's always a light, and I think she's good about, just embodying that in general.
What's up, guys? So I have this new idea to start making videos of props you can build from stuff from the Dollar Tree. My prop notebook here. My shopping list here. Shorty's interview, scene, and action.
Hi, I'm Shorty. I am Tiffany's best friend. Also her guinea pig on a lot of her haunted things that she's done.
When I first seen her in Girl Scouts, nobody liked either of us because we were different apparently. So she was really, really, really hyper, which made me nervous because I was brittle. But I still liked her, and apparently I looked at my mom and I said, I like her. I'm going to be her friend. I like her because I can't stand and she can't sit down. And we've been friends ever since.
The whole makeup part of it, I have seen her do so many different kinds, like burn victim, zombie, torn up face, torn up hand. She made it look like my neck was taken out. I got to scare her mom with it. I was like, ah, and then took my hand out and I had the blood on it. Her mom freaked out. It was funny.
We'll be driving down the road. She wants to stop and get something out of the garbage. But I need that, Mom. What the heck do you need? I got an idea. I'm like, what are you going to do with these cotton balls? What are you going to do with this glue? What are you going to do with this? And the next thing you know, she's built something out of it. And it's awesome.
The Tom Savini School, it's Douglas Education Center, the Tom Savini program. For the finale of Face Off, for the very last episode, they had a contest, and it was a zombie makeup and costume contest, and I competed, and a lot of the competitors were people that were actually in the school, and I won first place, and that was like one of the most proudest moments of my life, and I would love to go to that school.
She went from haunted house to special effects makeup. I could deal with that, right? And then she found prop building, going to MHC, Midwest Haunters Convention.
Welcome, everyone, to the Midwest Haunters Convention.
And she met the mom and dad of Distortions. She was in awe. She was, Mom, I know who they are. We got to go to that booth, Mom. We got to go to that booth.
Hello, Tiffany. So good to see you.
I initially started at Forsaken Haunted House. I was just like full-blown animal zombie in a cage. I immediately fell in love with everything about the haunt industry. They were really great about working with my disability and keeping me safe and letting me be a prime scare. Everywhere else I've kind of gotten made fun of for being different, but in the haunt world, it's the opposite. It's you know, they're like, you're the perfect shape and the perfect size. It's great.
What does your family think about the haunt world and stuff?
My dad was a horror fan, and I remember the first horror movie I watched was Scream. On one of my surgeries, I had a body cast on both legs up to my belly button. My dad had left it on the Sci-Fi Channel, and he had fallen asleep. And I'm like a little kid sitting there and just too petrified to close my eyes or close my ears, and I'm just watching this. And then I fell in love with horror, and that's how I got started on that.
Our family has split up, you know. I'm with somebody else, and Samantha went her way and stuff and whatnot. Me and the kids, we try to communicate to each other, you know. It was our time, and we made the most of our time.
Yeah, we sure did.
We made the most. I'm going to tell you that. As everybody can see, my boy is white, and I am black. But I'm the only dad this young man known.
The only dad I've ever needed.
You know, I raised him like my dad did me.
I become pregnant with my son, and his father was a truck driver. And it was just a little 4-month relationship, and then he went on back, and my mom had moved to Ohio, so I said, I'm going to be with my mom to have my first baby. 2 weeks after I got here, I met Walter, and we just hit it off. And he went through the pregnancy with me of my son, and the birth of my son. And my son was almost 3 months old, so I went to go get on birth control. So, son, honey, I'm sorry, you were already pregnant. I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. I'm 21 years old, just had a baby, and I'm pregnant, and not only am I pregnant, I gotta call my daddy and tell him I'm pregnant again, and I'm having a black child. My daddy disowned me. He wasn't having it. And then my daughter was born and changed his life. And he adored her. He got her into the treatments at Shriners.
Pixie's like, okay, time for my interview. Come here. Pixie, you wear this makeup, and sometimes I lick it off your face, and it tastes nice. But sometimes you're gone for long times, and I don't like that. But you make some pretty cool stuff. But I'm never allowed in your studio when you're making it, so don't really like that. But it's pretty cool stuff, and I want to eat it all. But I'm not allowed. But I sniff it. I do. Now let me go. Bye. This is my old first Iffy mask. I pull a lot from my life to develop my characters. Iffy comes from working as an assistant with my mom when she did clowning for hospice. Part of her backstory is that she snapped and went insane from being made fun of by her fellow clowns when she tried to be a clown and them telling her that she was too small. She's always ready for revenge, and if she catches anybody laughing, because inevitably, you know, everybody has to have a laugh when they see me because I am small, and they'll either aw or laugh. So if anybody does that, that's when she kind of snaps and she'll turn her head to the side and then slowly look at you, and that's when her knife goes up and she'll charge at you, and then they definitely stop laughing. My very first haunt character that I developed myself was Scare Bear, because in high school everybody called me Tiffy Bear. Everybody wanted to give me hugs, and I was like, I don't want to be cute. Like, I want to be fierce and like intimidating, and I decided to come up with a bear that maybe a very lonely child who didn't get any toys really found a bunch of scraps of toys and Frankenstein together all these toys, wished so hard for it to be alive that it came alive, but it was demonic.
Okay, that's good, D.
It soaked in when I
And now I have to do mouth blood. Hand me mouth blood.
Head case comes from side effects from the disease that I have. I have a head problem where my head goes down onto my neck bone. And one of the options to help it was to have a head halo. And growing up, that was a huge fear of mine. And it was something I really didn't want done, and I was terrified of it. I'd have nightmares of it. I have my mannequin here, and it's wearing my Roadkill helmet. My Roadkill helmet needs repaired. It's been through some stuff. Roadkill, that just pretty much came from wanting to be a kick-butt character. There's never any, like, post-apocalyptic wheelchair characters, and there needs to be one.
And this lady was like getting in her van. I'm like, honey, what happened? Are you okay? You know? And she's like, honey, I done peed my pants. That little thing over there that made me pee my pants. I gotta go home. And she sure enough had peed her pants.
And I love it. And that's one of my favorite parts. When I first started out, I made two big dudes piggyback on each other and scream like girls and run out of the room. And I was still in a cage. And I was like, this is for me. Because I've grown up in a world where I'm small and I'm fragile in a world that can hurt me, but in the haunt world, even though I'm not the bigger person, you know, I could be the intimidating person, and it's amazing. These were the fangs from my character Tabitha. It's Tabitha the Demon Baby. That one is inspired by the name. I was supposed to be named Tabitha because my mom loves Bewitched. And the demon baby is, I've heard things that babies that were born like me or with different defects, that they would basically like throw them out to the wilderness. This baby was thrown out to the wilderness, came back evil, you know, revenge. And so that one didn't really end up being very popular, but I had to come up with a character for a family-friendly haunt at the time. So I was like, okay, a demon baby. Because I am in regular life kind of like so laid back, that's what my characters do for me, is they let that side out in a safe environment to where I know that in the end nobody's gonna end up fighting, nobody's gonna end up being mad at anybody, and then people still have a good time. You know, there's a part of me that is mad at the world that so much of the world is not adapted for somebody like me, or so much of it is difficult for somebody like me. And so in the haunt world, whatever bad day I'm having, I could always take it out. I wanted it to be a demon of pain, so I thought of how pain would warp somebody's face if you were to embody pain, and how warped it would look. The crack is because I break bones and get a lot of headaches, and I wanted to do the kind of mouth like this, more shut almost. There's a lot of times where I kind of just want to scream in pain, but I don't. It's easier to stop something if you can see it. It's a part of me that I try to fight with a lot on a daily basis, because I'm in pain from the time I wake up, from the time I go to sleep. So I have to really concentrate on not letting it control me, which is like, that's my favorite quote from one of the X-Men movies, is Professor X saying, "Don't let it control you." But so that's what I keep in my head, so that I don't let it control me, and make it to where I stop doing the things I love. Like, I need to make monsters. I need to live my passion, or I feel incomplete. I need to do that, and I need to learn more so that I can make better monsters, and monsters that last longer, and bigger monsters, and like, that's just who I am, and that's what I think about. Like, I think about it while I'm sleeping. I dream about it. Like, my mom's like, what did you dream about? I'm like, how to build a werewolf. Like, that's what I do. Like, it's my passion. Yeah.
Well, you use a lot of found objects and all sorts of interesting.
Yes. Yeah, we're working on the budget, so